Well, hey there, Gundam Maniacs. Welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. For this one, kind of a surprise. Not that it's robot spirits, and not that it's a metal robot spirits, but it's actually a robot spirits from something other than Universal Century. So check it out. We've got this metal robot spirits Wing Gundam, but I think it's specifically Wing Gundam Zero. And yeah, I haven't really watched Wing yet, other than I tried it out, and I was like, nah, not for me back when I was getting into UC. But I will be getting back into it. I will be watching it. I will be reviewing it for the channel. I just happened to see in my Twitter feed this custom painted mobile suit that looks so awesome. I was like, what suit is that? And someone says the Wing Zero. And I think that the way the paint was applied, it gave me a greater appreciation for the design. And as a fan of the real type markings and a fan of the Metal Robot Spirits, one of our supporters actually has this figure and had shown it to me, and I gotta say, it blew me away. There's just some awesome design to it, a lot of good to it, so let's get into it. Hey, but if you haven't, please subscribe and go ahead and give this video a like if as you're watching it, you think it's worthy of a like. That helps me out, but yeah, let's get started. All right, well, there it is. Look at this thing. I'm not a fan of the colors, but I think it helps that it has the real type markings going on. It kind of lends to what I like about UC. And, just going over the design of this thing, again, I'm not into much that's outside of UC. I appreciate some of the designs I see occasionally. Until I get to them, I'm excited about them. Seed is one that stands out, but this Wing Gundam, there's something about it. I kind of like the like Fennec or Fox-like look it has to the helmet here. Not only to the V-fin, but the other fin, and the binders. I love the way the binders work and how they, open up and it has the engines inside. I feel like there's some really cool dynamic looks that you can give this just because of how, so many different things. You can have the binders down, up, open, and it's got its transforming mode, which I love. And just something to note here, I'll go into it a little deeper, and then we see the die-cast parts, the metal here, that just really makes this figure stand out. But yeah, let me take everything off and we'll get a closer look. All right, so here it is, a very cool looking. When you have this in hand, you're going to feel the premiumness of it. Not just in the metal parts, but also the plastic. There's something about the whole thing that feels premium and definitely worth that over 100 price tag. But a lot of this is very similar to any of the robot spirits. We have the movement of the head. It goes down, quite a bit. It also goes back and looks up quite a bit, so that's fantastic. There's not too much else that I would point out here that's any different than any other robot spirits. So I'll specifically look at things like, check out the metal that's at the joints here, where you get that double elbow. There's that metal joint there. It's beautiful. I just love that, being used to action figures and how often they can break apart. And then here is that backpack piece with the binders, how it has the die-cast metal parts here. Let's see, not so much when you get in here, but you can see the metal pins in there, and the construction's good anyway. And also with the waist, which I've had it pop off a few times, and this back piece that actually does pop off quite a bit too. Oh, here we go. Here's a good shot of the metal parts in there, not only around the waist and the top of the legs, but even back down here at the knees. And let's see, we're going to get to that later, but it's just great seeing all the metal joinery in here that will just allow this thing to stand. You don't have to worry about it falling over. All the joints are really stiff, and even holding the giant beam rifle, you can sometimes at the arm get a little bit of a droop, but if you position it just right, this elbow is going to help keep it up. So it's fantastic. Ab crunch. This is one that there's more abs than it looks like it, and you actually have to mess around with it. You want to kind of push it in because it will pop off, and then you can just move forward, and yeah, the back will even come off, but you can move it forward and get a pretty okay forward. That's not bad. That actually looks pretty cool. And then, okay, well, there we go. I pulled it back, and then you can see where it pops off easily. And I don't mind it too much because you can pop it on and it feels sturdy. But you know, it is what it is. So the app crunch is there if you really need that pose. All right, and to go over some of the like gimmicks that are included on this, there's a few things here. One is on the shoulder here. You can open this up. Beam saber, always love it when there's some hidden beam saber storage. And it does really well being in this upper shoulder area right there. But also with the shoulders, you know, it's got this sort of thing here. That does, you know, whatever. You see that a lot on Gundams or mobile suits, right? Where you've got this extra little thing here that could be for, you know, a thrust guard, but also it's just a cool extra design element. But, you know, underneath that is actually another part. Sometimes it's hard to grab it. Okay, I use the beam saber to kind of pop it down, but it's got the thrusters down here on both sides. Looks pretty cool, just another added component of its visual gimmicks. Another thing being the chest here, the vent that opens, and now I had a hard time getting it open. I actually had to use a razor blade to do it, to get into that spot there. I haven't tried it or I was trying it on the other side, and I was afraid I was going to break it, so I stopped. That might be something I'll mess with a little bit later, but for now, I'm keeping it closed. But it's cool that it's there. I like the idea of different components opening up on a mobile suit. Yeah, it's very cool. And then with the binders here, they open up, and there's a lot of joinery on that, so you can really get a lot of cool poses. I mean, even the thrusters itself, it's on a ball joint here that's metal, and then even up here, it's on a joint itself that moves around however you want. So, I mean, there's so many things you can do with the way these binders work. I like it. It's not, you know, when I'm looking at the Wing Zero at first, I'm kind of thinking it's not my type of design, but once you look closer, look past the colors and look at the kind of the binder design here, I mean, this sits atop some of the best in terms of even UC Mobile Suit Gundam design when it comes to the thrusters, binders, etc., that type of thing. So yeah, I really do like it. All right, another awesome feature is the metal Gatling gun, Vulcan gun, whatever you would call it, on the kind of the collar of the Unit 1. That's just awesome that it's there. It's kind of reminiscent of what we see with some UC Gundam, but I just love the way this looks because I really just picked it up and just turned it around. Let me get the head back and I can kind of show that again. Where, yeah, you just pick up from the back and voila, you got it there. I mean, that is freaking awesome. Let me get the other side. Yeah, good look. I mean, this is just really cool look for options for poses. All right, real quick, let's look at the manual here, the instructions, just to see if there's anything cool to show off. Really showing that articulation we were talking about, the vents, the shoulders. That articulation in the arms itself, where it like moves forward to, you know, two-hand a sword or something. So that's cool that that's there. Also showing all what the binders can do, which is quite a lot, and that's part of the transformation process as well. We get down here to the legs, saying caution may rub off. I guess just telling you to be careful as you're moving it around, and just showing the articulation there. I mean, really, a lot of times when you look at this, this is just typical Robot Spirits articulation and gimmicks, but that metal aspect just gives it some more quality. We've got the different hands up here, no hand tree. And we've got the guns that are actually very high quality too, we'll look at in a second. They have a lot of different connector pieces to do different things. And then down here showing, yeah, where to put the beam saber stuff. And then actually that shield that opens and closes that you put on. And then here we go with the transformation, and I'll actually go through this here in just a sec. But also showing the stand you put together, and I have an issue with that, and I'm going to get to here shortly. And then I'll do the transformation. I've done it a few times in preparation of this video, and it's not bad. All right, so let's look at the stand. One, I would say I like this in general just because it's like a good platform to use. And then if we look at the bottom, there's this one hole here, right? Let me get the piece that goes to it. Here's the top connector piece, and you're supposed to put this piece on, right? That has the two right there. If we were to look at the instructions for this, it even tells you that there's a second connector. So there's two on here that are plugged into the two holes there. Now, if we look at the bottom of this unit, we can see that there's a screw on the bottom one. And I've tried to unscrew it. And I didn't want to apply too much force because a certain number of my screwdrivers would start skipping on it, and I didn't want to mess them up. So I don't know if that was kind of done in the construction of this, and it's supposed to stay in there, but then you can't put this piece in. You just can't. It's useless. There's nothing you can do about it. That is the only way to get him to stay on here. Otherwise, if I try to connect this in here, he's really just kind of sitting there. And depending on how you have him, I keep saying him, but it's a robot. I mean, that's actually a good area right there if I wanted to keep him like this. But if I wanted to add any weapons, or if this, happens to be touched or whatever, he's going to get knocked down. So I probably wouldn't keep him on the stand in this, but in the Neo Bird mode, or whatever it's called, Bird Neo mode, it actually has its own piece for that. So yeah, let's get into the accessories. So we've got this cool looking shield. It has some nice real tight marking on there. This opens. You can see some stuff in there. Has the connector parts for transformation and when to go on the arm, and these pieces here for the gun. And here are the guns. I have the shooty hands on them right now. But yeah, I love the paint. Again, it has some markings on it that make it look cool. Yeah, the paint, because there's different types. You got the gold on there. You've got like the gunmetal. You've got the gray. And the handle actually moves up, and I'll show that here in a second. It's got the shooty hand, as we just saw. It's got this open, relaxed, dynamic hand, and it's got a fist for punching. And yeah, if you wanted to put a beam saber in one, there you go, there. All right, here's some connector pieces for the flight mode. And it comes with 2 beam sabers, something we're accustomed to. Now, let's see how well I can do this transformation. I am going to start by removing this piece because it just is going to fall off anyway. All right, here we go. And do I love this design? There's something about it where it obviously looks janky in terms of a ship, but it's because it's a mobile suit that transformed into this. And I think this is really good looking compared to a lot of the transforming stuff we see in the UC. And, what's just really cool about this is the fact that I was able to transform it fairly quickly. With all the pieces that are there. I didn't have to take anything off to discard it somewhere else. I mean, everything is here. I love the way the feet transform, the way they look. This is just awesome. All right, and then with that connector piece on down here, you can just pop it on the stand like this. Maybe do a little adjustment. Hard to fit it on the screen here with the space, but it just works awesome with the stand. Looks amazing. Yeah, just so cool. All right, I was able to move it down a little lower on the stand. Forgot that was a feature. To kind of show it with this that apparently falls apart all the time, as we can see. But this is that high grade version that is a different color, but it's the same exact thing. You can see that it is a little smaller, but it's very similar. I would say that if you just love this design, you love this suit, that metal Robot Spirits version is excellent, and it's for you. All right, and there you have it. What a great addition to have to a Gundam collection, especially something like the Wing Zero, which is really a big deal to mainly Western audiences, I think. I don't think it was received as well in Japan, that whole, Wing saga, but there's just something about the design that works for me. It speaks to me. I love it. I love just posing it, putting things on it, and it's just awesome. So thanks for watching. Please give this a like if you like it. Subscribe if it's cool. Check out the links in the description for the Discord, the Patreon. We do kind of a movie night every month. But anyway, thanks for watching. We'll talk later.